David started with the crime scene records. The victim, let's not use names, just the victim, was a 28-year-old graphic designer who lived alone in a small apartment downtown. She'd been confirmed returning home from work around 8:30 am. Neighbors reported hearing a door slam around that time, but thought nothing of it. The 911 call at Imwemien went like this. Dispatcher. 911. What's your emergency? Voice, trembling, whispered. Someone broke into my house. I'm in the kitchen, hiding. Please come now. Dispatcher. What's your address? Are you still inside the home? Voice. Yes, I'm still here. 12047 Ashford Street, apartment 3B. Please hurry. The dispatcher followed standard protocol. Stay on the line. Keep hiding. Police units arrived 7 minutes later. When they breached the door, what they found shocked them. The victim was in the living room, face down on the floor. Strangulation marks circled her neck. The medical examiner later confirmed time of death at approximately 8:45 p.m., 3 hours earlier. But the 911 call was real. The voice analysis lab confirmed the call came from a live line. The recording hadn't been manipulated. The phone belonged to the victim. So how had this happened? This was the moment David first felt the word impossible echo in his mind. And impossible cases were usually the most dangerous ones. Police units quietly positioned themselves on campus. David and the team reviewed the lab's external security footage. Only one person had entered the lab over the weekend, a research assistant. Name? No, we won't give that either. Just call him the suspect. When his file was examined, everything fell into place. 34 years old, lives alone, pursuing a PhD in voice technology and AI, no social circle, expert in digital forensics and voice cloning. Police entered the laboratory. The suspect sat at his computer, wearing headphones, an audio editing program open on the screen. Hands up, police shouted. The suspect turned. No fear on his face, just disappointment. I didn't finish yet, he said calmly. The 5th recording wasn't perfect. I needed to try again. David entered. You killed 4 people. You stole their voices using AI. Why? The suspect smiled. A cold, emotionless smile. Because I could. Because technology made it possible. Their voices belong to me now. I've immortalized them. They'll live forever digitally. Marcus quietly took notes. God complex. Control obsession. Lack of empathy. And you? The suspect continued. How hard did you struggle to find me? AI did this. Voice is now the easiest form of identity theft. People protect their images but leave their voices open to everyone. I just used it. As David arrested the suspect, he knew this case was just a beginning. AI technology was becoming more sophisticated every day, and this wouldn't be the first. As David closed the file, he asked Sam, "How do we prevent this?" Sam shook her head. "We can't. Technology will always be ahead. All we can do is be aware." Marcus added, "And protect not just your voice, but your digital identity. Everything about you is online now, and everything can be stolen." David took a deep breath. "I don't know when the next case will come," he said, "but when it does, we'll be ready." That impossible call that started at exactly 11:47 p.m. was actually possible. But we were living in a world where a human voice could be cloned by an algorithm, where a dead person could speak. The suspect was arrested, tried for 4 murders, showed no remorse in court. AI voice recordings were presented as evidence, perhaps the first deepfake murder trial in history. But the question in David's mind remained, how many more people disappeared using this technology? How many more voices were stolen? And the most frightening question, how easily accessible is your voice on the internet right now? Maybe you should ask yourself that question, because your voice isn't only yours anymore. An algorithm can take a 30-second recording and completely mimic you, call people, speak on your behalf, lie on your behalf. The voice thief was caught, but the technology is still out there, And the next person might be even better. Protect your voice, because once it's stolen, you can never get it back. David devised a plan. The potential victim would be kept safe, but her social media accounts would stay active. The killer would think she was still accessible. Elena posted this message from the woman's account. Home this weekend, setting up my new podcast equipment. Excited. The bait was cast. Now they just had to wait. 2 days later, a message arrived in the woman's DMs. Hello, I provide professional setup support for audio equipment. Are you available this weekend? I can offer free consultation. Sam tracked the IP, VPN again, but this time they'd been more careless. Through the proxy server, they could triangulate the real location. The message came from a building on Northgate University campus, the Acoustic Engineering Laboratory. We're going, David said. While the team examined the list, David's phone rang with an urgent call from the FBI. David, we have a new case. No body yet, but something strange. A woman, again we won't name her, had gone to police saying she'd been receiving strange messages for the past 2 weeks, felt someone outside her home, and yesterday her mother received a voice message in her own voice. Mum, I'm going on vacation next week, might be out of reach for a few days. But the woman hadn't made any vacation plans, and she hadn't sent that message. David understood immediately. This was the 5th victim, and she wasn't dead yet. Find her location, now, he shouted. The team sprang into action. The woman's address was located. Police units headed out. David, Sam, and the team went there immediately. When they reached her home, the woman was still alive, scared, but perfectly safe. David explained the situation, that she was a serial killer's target, that AI technology was being used. But why me? The woman asked, trembling. Who am I? Elena reviewed her file. A month ago, you participated as a guest on an AI ethics panel. Your talk is on YouTube. The woman nodded. Yes, there was a seminar at the university. Which university? David pressed. Northgate University. Computer Science Department. David and Sam exchanged looks. It was one of the universities with Voice Mirror Pro licenses. Sam tracked all the messages, IP addresses, account information. Different accounts were used each time. VPNs, proxy servers, anonymous emails. The killer was expert at erasing digital traces. But he'd made one mistake. Here, Sam said, pointing to the screen. Messages sent to the 2nd and 3rd victims were written in the same time zone, using the same language algorithm. And here, in the metadata, a very small code fragment remained. David moved closer. What is it? A software signature. A code fragment left from the trial version of a specialized AI voice cloning software. This software is called Voice Mirror Pro. It's not commercial, it's used for academic research. So our killer either works in academia or has access to an academic license, David said. Marcus added, and most likely in the field of voice technology, artificial intelligence or computer science. Elena typed something. The number of universities with licensed access to Voice Mirror Pro isn't huge. Maybe 30-40 institutions. We can narrow this list down. The killer still appeared anonymous, but the walls were slowly closing in. David, Sam, and Marcus spread the 4 victims' files across the conference room table. Elena Cortez joined the team as an investigative journalist. She specialized in tracking online footprints. We need to find the common threads, David said. How did the killer select these people? How did he obtain their voices? Elena examined each victim's social media accounts. They all shared common platforms: Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. But there was something else. Wait, Elena said, pointing to her screen. This victim was a guest on a podcast 3 weeks before death. This victim gave an interview on a YouTube channel. And this one, this one taught a course on an online education platform. Sam interjected. They all have long-duration, high-quality audio recordings, perfect training material for AI. Marcus added, and it's all public, open to everyone. The killer doesn't need to hack anyone. Everything's already there. David took a deep breath. So how did the killer make physical contact with them? How did he get into their homes? Elena found something else. All their profiles gained new followers in the last 6 months. And wait, this is interesting. They all have a tech support or business offer message in their DMs. David leaned forward. Elaborate. First victim received a message from someone offering TNN professional podcast production. Second victim got an free audio editing service offer. Third victim received an online interview project invitation. Fourth victim, Elena zoomed in on the screen. Fourth victim was invited for a consultation meeting on voice technology. Everything was starting to make sense. The killer contacted victims online, managed to invite them to their homes under some pretext, or succeeded in going to their homes. David filtered the FBI database for unsolved murder cases from the past 2 years. The criteria he searched for: victims living alone, strangulation or physical assault, strange phone activity, call timing, messages, digital footprint. 2 hours later, 3 different files were open on his screen. Case 1. 8 months ago, different city, a 32-year-old software developer. 1 day after death, a voicemail arrived for her mother from the victim's phone number. "Mum, I'm out of town for a few days, don't worry." The family didn't find it strange at first. Police records noted pre-recorded message without requiring voice analysis. Case 2. 5 months ago, a 26-year-old podcast producer. After death, a WhatsApp voice message to her best friend. "Hey, my phone's dying. You won't be able to reach me for a while." The friend considered it normal. 2 days later, the body was found. Case 3. 3 months ago, a 30-year-old sound engineer. Yes, a sound engineer. This victim's job dealt specifically with audio. After death, an email went to co-workers. "Going on vacation for a few weeks. Can you take over my project?" Attached was a voice note in the victim's own voice describing vacation plans. No one suspected anything. David called Sam with trembling hands. "Sam, I'm sending you 3 more case files. Each one has messages, calls in the victim's voice after death. Re-examine these cases. Is there AI usage?" Sam received the files and analyzed them. An hour later, the answer came. "David, they're all the same. AI voice cloning was used in every single one. This is a serial killer, and he's killed 4 people." David was facing the most technical, most insidious serial killer he'd ever encountered, and they'd barely even started. Marcus Chen listened quietly while reviewing the case file. As a criminal psychologist, he'd spent years studying the mental architecture of serial killers and psychopaths. This case particularly disturbed him. "This person isn't just interested in killing," Marcus said without looking up from the file. "They're after control and exhibition. Stealing the victim's voice using AI gives them power. They're saying, 'Look, I can even control your identity. I can steal your voice itself.'" David took notes. "So the profile?" Marcus considered. "Most likely someone working or who has worked in the tech sector, familiar with AI and voice technologies. Probably socially awkward, lives alone, probably selects victims from online environments, stalks them, and..." Marcus paused. "And," David pressed, "and this might not be the first time. A method this sophisticated requires practice." A warning bell rang in David's mind. Marcus was right. Someone who did this once might have done it before. Sam explained how AI voice cloning worked. To clone someone's voice, you don't need hours of audio anymore. Next-generation artificial intelligence algorithms can create nearly perfect clones with just 30 seconds to 1 minute of clean audio samples. Where could they get the victim's voice? Instagram stories, TikTok videos, voice messages, Zoom calls. Everyone's voice is already available on the internet. David thought about it. The victim was a graphic designer, active on social media. Her online portfolio even had promotional videos where she spoke. So after they create this voice, what do? David asked. They can use it live. There are real-time voice conversion software programs. You speak, and the program instantly transforms your voice into someone else's, Or they create pre-recorded audio files and use those. In this case, the killer probably used the second method, prepared the sentences needed for the 911 call in advance, had the AI speak them in the victim's voice, then played that recording from the phone. David nodded. But why? Why would they do this? Sam shrugged. Alibi. Confuse us, or maybe it's a game to them, a chance to show off their technology. David knew he needed another expert to find the real answer. Marcus Chen. When David brought the file to digital forensics specialist Sam Reeves, she looked skeptical at first. Call someone 3 hours after death? No. Someone must have used her phone, Sam said, adjusting her glasses. David played the voice recording. Sam listened once, then again. Then she stopped. Is this her voice? She asked. Her family says so. Her close friends too. Everyone who knew her voice identified it as hers. Sam uploaded the audio file to her computer and ran a spectral analysis program. Colored waveforms appeared on the screen. Voice frequencies, intonations, breathing patterns, everything matched human speech. But Sam noticed something. Look at this, she said, pointing to the screen. These waveforms are too smooth. Human voice naturally has irregularities, small tremors, but these are like they've been poured into a perfect mold. David leaned in. What are you saying? Sam answered without taking her eyes off the screen. I think this is an artificially generated voice, deepfake audio, AI voice cloning. David's blood ran cold. If this was true, he was facing the most complex murder case of his career. She called 911 at exactly 11:47 p.m., her voice shaking as she whispered, "Someone broke into my house." The dispatcher sent help immediately. Police arrived 7 minutes later. But here's the problem. She'd been dead for 3 hours when that call was made. It was impossible. Yet the voice recording was there. The phone records were there. Everything was real. Or at least it appeared to be. When David Harrington found this file on his desk, his first instinct was to assume a technical error. Maybe the timestamp was logged incorrectly. Maybe the autopsy report was wrong. But both documents were checked and double-checked. There was no mistake. A dead woman's voice had truly echoed through the 911 dispatch center 3 hours after her death. And this was only the beginning.